Welcome to Paris. Here's how I spent 4 days in this amazing city. Day 1 on my trip to Paris. We woke up at 4 a.m. on a Monday morning to get the Eurostar at 6 a.m. I don't know about you, but I find the UK side of the Eurostar like such a breeze. We were in Paris by 9 and we decided to take the metro to the hotel. And we picked up the new French version of the Oyster card so we could get around really easily. Each journey is about €2.50 and it took us about half an hour to get to the Hotel Yllen where we were staying. We were very early for check-in, so instead we went for an omelette at a nearby cafe called Café Basile. This hotel is in the 15th arrondissement and it's a quieter area nearer the Eiffel Tower, but the metro was literally right outside the door. Fueled up, we headed into the city to check out Printemps. It's perfect for window shopping, especially looking at all the designer pieces. We also visited their cafe for a little pit stop, which was full of lovely French women enjoying salads and a pot of dessert, something that we took inspiration for later in the day. Next up was Galerie Lafayette, and this is one of my favorites because I picked up my first ever Valentino shoes here 10 years ago, would you believe? The store is completely decked out in beautiful Dior butterflies, making their usual beautiful dome look even more incredible. I wish I could have had a photo here, but unfortunately I was just feeling so gross from all of the journey and I was wearing like the worst outfit, so there's nothing of me here. I will have to go back. At about 4 p.m. we headed back to the hotel. We went to a little shop called Panorama, love the name, across the road, where we had a sandwich and a dessert pot which was strawberries and cream. At 8 o'clock we decided to head out and see the Eiffel Tower. This was about a 30-minute walk and it was great to see this iconic sight. The Eiffel Tower sparkles like a very glamorous Christmas tree when the sun has gone down on the hour for 5 minutes. We waited for about half an hour to see the first sparkling of the night, which was 10 p.m. I'd never seen it like this before, so it was really worth it, and you can see it from all around the city. Just find a great place to stand. On our way home we picked up these cute Paris mugs so we could have a giant cup of tea before bed. And now on to day 2 in my trip to Paris. Monday was quite a cool day, so we left on our jeans and jumpers from traveling, but Tuesday was a lot warmer, so here you'll see us in dresses. Our first stop was Comptoir de Cantonnier, where we picked up a few bits and we did the tax-free thingy as well, which we redeemed at the Eurostar departure gates. It's important to note that I should have washed my hair today. I didn't because of time, and I spent the whole day wishing I had. We'd never been to Le Bon Marché before, and as it was relatively close to the hotel, we headed there to look around. It had these incredible beach balls on the ceiling, which made such a great display, and I tried to get my mom to take videos of me, but it was a little bit of a challenge, but we kind of got there in the end. We'd had a big breakfast in the hotel, but we stopped for a pit stop at Babylone, which was at the back of the shopping centre, and we had an alcohol-free beer and watched the whole world go by. It was so good for people watching. After this we went to Le Bon Marché Épicerie. I hope I'm saying that right. This was so incredible. It was like Whole Foods in the UK, but even more beautiful, kind of like a Fortnum and Mason food hall. They had a deep dive on every single healthy food you can think of, and we just wish we'd actually bought something when we were in here. Something definitely to come back to. After a long day of shopping in this area, we went back to our hotel via Panorama for a salad and another pot of dessert. That evening we headed to Concorde and down to the Tuileries and down the Seine. Me and my mum was still laughing about our content creation attempts earlier, so here she is taking the mick out of me. It was one of those golden Paris evenings, just perfect. We went back to our hotel for about 10 p.m. Let's look at day 3 on my trip to Paris. On our third day, it was the warmest day for our trip, so we're wearing the lightest things that we can. We traveled to Montmartre that day, and we've been once before at sunset, so we kind of wanted to go in the daytime and have a proper wander around. The station we came into was called Abbesse, and it had this really long staircase there. I think there were lifts as well, but we took the stairs and it was just like literally never ending, but beautiful artwork on the sides. Of course, the location here means lots and lots of winding streets and steps as you go up towards Sacré-Cœur to see the beautiful view of Paris. It was about 11 by the time we were making our way up there, so as you can see, it's really busy. There's so many lovely little cafes and shops, and even little art galleries. There's also stacks of souvenirs, so if you need a keyring or a poster or a postcard, you will be spoilt for choice. At the top, it was even busier than I can even remember it. It was insane. And we went under a tree where there was a little bit of shade to get a couple of photos of that view with the famous padlocks that are on the railings. Because of the direction of the sun, it wasn't possible to get a photo of you and sort of the Paris skyline without the help of the shady tree. Because it was so very hot by midday, we decided to go on this little white train that was going around the streets. It cost 12 euros and we traveled around all of the different back streets and up and down the hills. So it's a really good option if you don't want to walk so much, or it's really hot because it was covered over. For example, I don't think we would have made it to see the Moulin Rouge building unless we were on this little train. It's also really great because you can spot anywhere that you might want to go back to. For example, I spotted the Fragonard shop that I really wanted to go and see, and there's like an amazing carousel that was in front of Sacre-Cœur at the bottom of the steps that I wanted to go back to too. So it was really handy to get a really good overview of the area, and we went back to walk through the street. It's definitely one of the most photogenic little areas. Lots of the cafes have flowers outside of them. There's lots of bright colours, the cobbled streets. It's a very pretty Instagrammable area. Years ago, we went to a chocolate shop called Maison Georges Larnicole. I think that's how I'm saying it. The truffle balls and galettes were divine. I'm a proper praline lover, so I was in my element. After a quick coffee stop at Le Bar, we headed to the Marais. We've stayed here many times and headed to Le BHV. Along with all the great clothes, there's also a great homeware section, so we had a great wander around there before heading to the rooftop cafe. We really hit the jackpot here because the views were incredible, and if it hadn't been quite so hot, we would happily have sat outside, but these views were all the way to the Seine. We had a cup of tea and a lovely salad, and the vibe was really relaxed in here, so you can just pop up anytime you want. After that, we went into the vibrant streets of the Marais. We went to the fashionista's favourite, Sezane, and I have a little crush on this flukes shop that I go to every time. For food, it was extremely busy because it was extremely hot and everyone was out enjoying themselves. We ended up in Paris, Beaubourg, having a beautiful, I have to say gorgeous, pizza and a salad to share. It was in this busy little square with lots of other options and this water fountain with arty structures. Then it was back to the hotel. And now day 4 on my trip to Paris. It's our final day, so this is our last day for breakfast, which was really filling, and I've just given you a quick whistle stop here from everything from croissants to hot food and fruit and cereals. It was all self-service, you could help yourself. Here's the view from the hotel room, and just to the left was the tube station and a little look round the bathroom with L'Occitane products. The train was at 4 p.m, so we didn't have too long to spare, so I picked a location on the same metro line to save time. This is Jardin de Luxembourg, and it's a really beautiful garden we've been to before. Unfortunately for us, it was a little bit windier and breezier and busier than we actually anticipated. So it was a little bit of a struggle on that front, much easier when it's bright and sunny. And I kind of wish we'd headed to an indoor location like Saint-Germain instead, but we still have a glorious time, and we went to the Medici fountain. And when we came out, it was so busy with students because it was lunchtime that we headed back to the hotel and just had a little wander around the neighbouring streets before checking out and getting the metro to Gare du Nord for the Eurostar. I hope you really enjoyed my trip to Paris with some tips and tricks along the way. Leave me a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you soon.